So it's time for another quick vlog before I go, a little vlog update, before I go meet up with my friend Helen, who is in my last vlog, but I will not be vlogging with her because we're only gonna be together for a short period of time. It's dissertation season and it's also summer, so people are traveling, so, you know, even if we were together longer, just because we haven't been able to spend much time, I haven't been able to spend much time with friends in general, because I'm working on my dissertation and I'll be traveling in a couple weeks, so it's just a lot going on right now, and you might be able to hear someone mowing the lawn outside. I think that's what's happening. But I thought I'd give a quick update on my thoughts on Half a Soul, because I don't think Elias is cursed. He is traumatized, as male characters should be. No, but for real, I have to wonder if the author, Olivia, I'll put the name of the author, but I have to wonder if she's a friend. I have to wonder if the author's a fan of Howl's Moving Castle, because Elias kind of reminds me of Howl. He's a sorcerer, and he is kind of bratty and complains a lot. I'm pretty sure he also has like longer blonde hair, if I remember correctly. And I could also just be picturing him wrong, because sometimes a character's physical appearance will be described and I'm still picturing them looking differently. It's just like, this person, sometimes a blonde man gives off dark hair vibes, sometimes a dark haired man gives off blonde vibes, sometimes, like, either way. He's also, like, the whole war aspect reminds me of the Howl Moving Castle film, where, like, Howl's using his magic to fight in that war. I don't know, the film is quite different than the book. That being said, I also think the point of Elias's character is like, oh, he's so crass and improper, but like, as a contrast to the people of proper society who are actually like so rude, especially towards Dora, and Elias is helping Dora and he's helping these kids who have been cursed as well. He's considered to be improper and impolite and whatever, but he's actually doing a lot of things out of kindness, whereas the people in polite society are doing things out of propriety, what's considered propriety, and it can often be very rude and lack compassion in that way. So that's what I'm getting from him. This is how I'm wearing my hair from now on. I just got home from the store, and as I was walking into my building, I saw dark clouds above and realized it's gonna storm and I have to finish Half a Soul. So I get to read while it's storming. Just, could the conditions be any more perfect? It's magical. Hi. I'm currently filming a video that's gonna go up well before this vlog, but as you can see, I left my tripod back in the States, so I made one with books. I think it's really innovative and on brand. Nathan, what are you reading?
This isn't a book. This is awful inside this. I can't be sharing it.
So you really like your compact comics?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Hang on a second.
You can probably hear my fan, but it's so hot. I do want to quickly say about Half a Soul that something I really appreciate is how the plot is, while I honestly would have been fine if the plot were just about like the courting system and Dora trying to solve her having Half a Soul situation while Vanessa is trying to secure a husband, just very like Regency type story. I appreciate that there is more to it than that, with kind of an not as intense eat the rich mentality as some of us may have, but there is still the aspect of that, and like the whole kind of subplot with the children and the magical illness they're experiencing and the orphanage and that kind of stuff and the workhouses. It was unexpected, and I do like that. Because it's like me knowing that it was like a fantasy historical romance, I just didn't expect that. I expected it to be more just about the romance Regency era, more just like a Regency era type romance with fantasy elements and a like more of a fantasy world. I don't know if any of that made sense, but can I just say, y'all, I'm moving house, as you can see by the mess. Also, let me flip the camera because I'm not the important part here, even though it's just like packing books is so, oh my god, it's such a mess. I just don't want you to see how much of a mess my flat is while I pack, but it's so much. And this is like a fourth of my books because majority of my books are in the States because I couldn't move them. It's like, I love books. You really realize how much a collection of paper weighs when you have to move all your books, but it's okay. It'll be fine. I have friends coming to help. Everything's gonna be fine. Ignore my air purifier. Someone please tell me why I thought all my books would fit in there. I discovered I live like a 10-minute walk from an Oxfam books. It's used books that are like £2. What am I to do? What? The things I'll balance my phone on instead of a tripod, like, I'm finally finished with my dissertation and have moved house, and so I'm drying laundry. I can talk about my thoughts. I interrupted myself to put in earrings because I saw earrings and I was like, I should put those in because look at all these piercings, and then I'll forget to, like, and I have earrings and I'll forget to wear them, and so I'm trying to wear them more because I like having piercings and wearing things in them. So my thoughts on Half a Soul. I have many, and I wrote them down and I tried to memorize them, but I actually really didn't try. So when I say try, I just kind of looked at them. So Dora's lore feels like so irrelevant throughout most of the story until suddenly she reaches like a breaking point and becomes relevant again. And I honestly didn't mind the way that happened because I wasn't really thinking about it much until she started thinking about it. So in a way, you're kind of connected to the protagonist. The pacing wasn't too bad. It was very interesting at times. Like, this is going to be a little bit jumpy because of the fact that I can't remember my thoughts. It was a bit slow at times. It was like a historical romance fantasy. And I feel like more focus on the historical romance aspect than the fantasy for majority of it. Like, the world building was really interesting in the sense that there wasn't much outside of like historical Regency England, even though there is fae and there is some folklore with that, like the stuff with fae not liking iron and that kind of stuff, not being able to lie, not liking, it kills them. But also, given that it wasn't like this super adventurous fantasy and it's more, for lack of better words, cozy, it didn't need the faster pacing. But then the epilogue was very fast-paced. It just wraps up the last chapter very well and then goes into the epilogue that's kind of like, oh, the afterwards, but it's like the afterwards this and then jump to this and then jump to that, and then it really jumps to the very end of the story that felt a little bit out of left field because it delves more into like the fae, when, like I said, that wasn't a focus until the end of the story. They do get a bit more into the fae world, but it didn't have that much world building. But I'm not even necessarily criticizing it for that. My one criticism would be the way things would be overtly stated after it was in the subtext. But this is a criticism I have for a lot of current books because there is a depth of subtext, even just like in all media, shows, movies as well. Things are very overt, and I don't know if I've stated this before, but someone was telling me that they heard like in a Netflix conference that with films and TV shows for Netflix and stuff, that they're saying like be more overt, especially in the dialogue, because people watching things passively and that kind of stuff. That breaks my heart because I love subtext, I love nuances, I love like the little subtleties and all that kind of stuff. I was just saying the same thing. But so that's like a personal issue with it, but it's really not like, there are some typos as well, so it is kind of like a lack of editing, which is another thing that I've noticed in more recent books, where I feel like there's they like rely on, I almost said copyright, on autocorrect. If I could get my words out, that would be great. I'm tired. You know, I was working on a dissertation for so long and moving, and it's like, this is like my first week where I can just like chill, and I'm actually not really chilling because like work and stuff, but it's more chill than dissertation and such. But anyway, but I did enjoy my dissertation anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, a lack of editing, because I feel like there's relying on autocorrect, when autocorrect doesn't always know when you have mistyped, because you could say forbidding when you mean foreboding, like that kind of stuff. Like I've done it before for sure, where I've said meant one word but typed a word very similarly to it on accident. Like you mean quiet and you write quite instead, because you type fast, sometimes that happens. So that's not as much a criticism of this book, where it is more so a criticism of current publishing and that kind of stuff. But yeah, the criticism of this book would be more so be the pacing, and how it's not even a criticism, it's just the type of fantasy it is the historical like romance more so than fantasy. So if you are like romantasy, I think you would like this book. I think the way in which it disappointed me was I was recommended it because people were saying that it was like, not like, but if you liked the Folk of the Air, then you would really like this. And I did like it, don't get me wrong. I thought it was really cute. I enjoyed it. I thought there was some very heartwarming moments that made me like, I felt a reaction. It wasn't like the Folk of the Year for me, where I'm like, I need to get home and read that right now, and I'm like hyper fixated on it. But to be fair, out of like the hundreds of books I've read in my life, there's probably a few dozen that I have been like super hyper focused on, but that doesn't mean that I don't like them. It's just those things that it's like something has to be really special to you, and like it could be the right time that you read it. Like for me, this was a really good book to read like while I'm doing my dissertation, just a really cozy, easy read. I don't know how BookTok feels about this book. I have seen it on Bookstagram, but it's not smutty. I'm not saying that BookTok readers only read smut. It's just what you see a lot in like the popular ones, like my nemesis, Fourth Wing. It's my nemesis because I love dragons, and it is not well written, and there are dragons in there, and it's like, get them out of there. They deserve better. I don't want to be that much of a hater, but I gotta be honest with my opinions. I said this in a video last year that I am going to be more honest about my opinions, even if it does feel like I'm being a hater sometimes. I'm trying to be nice in the way that I word it. Even though I just said, get those dragons out of there, they deserve better. But in my defense, they do. Also, okay, so I've been holding the book like on a certain page. I don't know if you noticed. At the end, they have a like, and I don't know if this is only in like the Waterstones version. That's the version I have. But the Lord Cersei, I think that's how you pronounce it, has like 5 chapters at the end about his like backstory. It does just feel like an extra excerpt. I don't think it's necessary if your book doesn't have it. It's not really like, I mean, you learn about the Lord Cersei's backstory within the story. This is just more like getting to know him, and like him meeting Albert and becoming friends with Albert and like that kind of stuff. Loved Albert, loved the Eat the Rich. I don't really think I have much else to say about the book. I did write cute little notes in it, some predictions that were in fact correct. Because like I said, a lot of the stuff was kind of overt. But it was still really cute. I don't know if this is YA or adult, but I do think teenagers could for sure read it. Even like younger teenagers I think would be fine. I mean, the stuff I was reading when I was 14, I was a One Direction fan. So I read after as it was coming out. I think I've said that before. So like, I think it really depends on the teenager, but I think also like, I'm not like, you know, I have opinions that will keep to myself. But like literally I turned out fine. Anyway, really cute romantasy book. Better than like a lot of contemporary romances I've read lately. So if you're even into contemporary romance and you're fine with like a little bit of fantasy, this doesn't have that much fantasy in it. I do think I'm gonna read Babel next. I don't know. I really want to read I do think I'm gonna read Babel next actually, but I do want to also get into Serpents and the Wings of Night. This has more books that are like in the same world, but from what I understand, the characters in this do like cameos in the other books, but it's not like a series. So I don't know if I'm gonna read them, maybe eventually, but I really want to find something that, because I haven't been deeply attached to a book where like I hated having to finish it since Two Twisted Crowns. Like I didn't want to be done because I loved it so much. I don't think I mean, I loved Emily Wilde. I liked this book a lot as well, but it wasn't like I was like as hyper fixated as I was with the Shepherd King duology. Maybe, no, I don't have it. I'm on a book buying ban. After my move and having to move these books, shout out to my friend Helen and Cam. I don't think he was there when we carried the books, but she helped carry the books. She's very strong. Cam also helped move, so shout out to Cam as well. And yeah, also I am inserting some clips. I went to Paris. I'll show you guys some of that. Even though I'm not a travel vlogger, but if you like this, like and subscribe and all that, and I will do more book reviews, and I'm going to be posting weekly again and more like sit down scripted videos as opposed to these vlogs, though I will still vlog because I'm sure I'll have busy times where it'll be easy to vlog. You can tell I'm not an aesthetic reader because look at this. I'd be sitting here, I was literally, last time I was reading this, I had it like this. Does that bother you? Are you bothered? The spine's fine. Like, I get it, because I've had a book fall apart on me before. But I like to, like, actually use the things that I have. And I like when things are, like, worn and used because it's, like, they're loved, you know? Okay, bye.